Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Tech Data Engineer. So in this video we will practice questions related to SQL. Okay, so there are certain questions which is mostly asked, and based on that pattern you can solve a lot many questions also. So SQL is important, so that's why we are practicing the questions related to SQL. Okay, so let us start with the first questions. Okay. We will first see basic questions related to SQL, and then we'll start with the advanced level. Okay. In these things, we will cover the topics related to nested join, and then some aggregate functions also, like where we are using the aggregate, and then then some concept related to our like window functions also. Okay. So let us start with the first questions. In so the question is like find the second highest element. Okay. So if we'll solve the questions related to second highest or nth highest, we can solve questions related to anything. Okay. Just see the pattern and then try to solve. Okay. So there are multiple way to solve these questions, but we'll see. I think in the nested way. Okay. So here we wanted the second highest. So second highest means the if there is a table and first highest is on the number one and second is number two. So what second highest is what? Like if we'll discard the persons who have the highest salary, then automatically will come for the resultant would be the second highest. Okay. So first what I wanted to select, I wanted to select the select maximum salary from the employee. Okay. So we will select the maximum salary from the employee. Then what we will select? We will select the second highest. Select maximum salary from the employee where salary less than maximum salary. Okay. So the persons who have maximum salary, if we will discard or if we will take, we will try to compare the person who is earning less than that. So that is come as a second highest salary. Okay. Now, same thing related to nth highest salary. So if you are solving second highest related to that, so if someone will ask, so this is the second highest, that's why we solved in the single nested. If someone will ask what is the 10th highest or fifth highest, so if you'll solve in this way, so you need to write the multiple nested join, okay, nested query. So there are some other way also. We can use the CT or we can use the window functions also. So we are using the concept of dense rank. Okay. So how we will do? We will do select start from. Then in inner join we will write select salary dense rank over order by salary decreasing. So what I'll do? In a dense rank, we'll pass the over clause like order by salary decreasing as a rank. Okay. So first we will do the rank based on the salary from the employee, and then what I'll do, if rank equals to 3 it will give the third highest salary, if rank equals to 4 it will give the fourth highest salary. Okay. So why we are doing the dense rank, if you are doing the dense rank it will, if there is a matching records also it will give the correct result. Okay. So based on that, so what we have to do, select star from where rank equals to 3. This is the outer query, and inner query we select salary and then rank over order by salary decreasing. So if it is asking by each department, so we have to do order by salary decreasing and group by department. So for each department we can bring the second or third highest salary. Okay, so this way we'll solve question related to that. So similar way we can solve question related to fourth highest, fifth highest. We can practice questions related to that. So these questions are basic questions, but that is mostly asked if we'll attend any interview. Okay, now coming to the third questions, find the duplicate row. So how we are finding the duplicate row? So first we need to see the logic, okay? Then we'll come for the syntax and all. So how we can find the duplicate row? If in a table, if we are able to find certain key based on that, if there is if the count of that particular key is more than one, okay? Okay. So suppose there is a name. Okay. So if name is there, so suppose there is a person called Rabi. Okay, and then the second person is also called Rabi. Okay, so you can't say that person is duplicate because their address might be different. Okay, so we need to find out if everything is matching. Okay, name, address, their telephone number, and everything is matching, then it is called the duplicate row. Okay, then how we will do? We can use the aggregate functions here. Select name, count star from employee, group by name. We can do the grouping of name. Okay, if the name is the only thing and we wanted to find the duplicate, we can do the grouping by name, having count greater than equals to 1. So if name of a person in a group is greater than 1, means the person is duplicate. Okay, so in a group of names, suppose Ram. So Ram count is greater than 2, so greater than 1, so it is duplicate persons. Okay. So why we are using here having? So having we are using because that is the aggregate function. So in case of aggregate functions, we can't use the where clause here. Okay, so that is not the row, that is the aggregate function. So here we are solving two concepts. One is the count concept and one is the having or where clause concept. So here we are using the having, and then we can see what is the structure of group by, from, group by, having, where. These are the these are the sequence also we can see based on these questions. Okay, so we can like solve, we can problem question related to that. So if there is a two things like name, age, so we will do that. Select name comma age, count a star from employee, group by name, having count is the star greater than 1. So if there are two things, two you can say column name is there, so we can select based on that. Okay, so by these questions we can practice multiple questions related to that. Okay, for finding the duplications. Okay, then the fourth question is find employee with the same salary. Okay, so in a department there are multiple persons, but we have to find that particular persons who have the who have the same salary. So there are two person in department, Ram and Syam. Okay, so Ram also are earning 10,000 and Syam is also earning 10,000. So for that, and there is a single table called employee. Okay. So in that table, how you will finding the particular persons. Okay. There are no two table. So how we will do? We can solve these questions from the Ilias concept. So how we will do? Select even dot name, even dot salary. So we are selecting the employee one from employee one. Then from the same table we will do the join on the same table by Elias E2 on even dot salary equals to E2 dot salary. So why we are writing this particular syntax or this particular condition? Because we wanted the persons who have the same salary. So same salary we are finding based on that. So there might be a scenario where we are come up with a solution like Ram is only matching with Ram and they are giving the result. But we have to discard that result because we wanted the two different persons who have the same salary. So how we will do? We will write one more conditions where employee ID is not equals to E2 dot employee ID. So the both persons, Ram and Syam, should not have the same employee ID. And ideal cases that should not be the case, right? So Ram have different employee ID one, Syam has different employee ID two. So if employee ID is not matching and salary is matching, then we have to fetch that result. Okay, and there is a single table called employee. So that type of questions we have to solve based on the alias concept. Okay, we will do the alias, we can do the join, and then based on the conditions we will solve the questions. Okay, then we can solve questions related to that. Find employee with the same salary, same age, or same address, or same name. So we can write the conditions and we can do the same. We can write the same syntax, but we will change the conditions here. Okay, so we can practice questions related to that also. So these types of questions also they might ask. Okay, they might ask who have the manager, who don't have the manager, the employee who is a manager, so something like that. They can twist the questions and they can ask. So if you are familiar with certain questions, you can answer that. Okay, now coming to the fifth questions. Okay, so find employee not assigned to any department. Okay, so what we have to find here, we have to find out the employee who don't have any department. Okay, So how we have to do? We can solve multiple way, but we are using here inner join. So empl we are finding the employee who are not assigned to any department. So how we will do? Select ID from the department. Okay, in department column we will select the ID, and then what we are doing? We are finding the employee. So select from employee where department ID not in this department. Okay, so department, so if the persons is assigned to any department that have the department ID. Okay, but if we are find it, so what we are doing, we are selecting the ID only who we are selecting all the ID, but we are discarding only that employee who don't have the department ID. So that way we can find out the employee who are not assigned to any department. Okay, so first we are solving the inner questions, then we are solving the outer questions. Okay, so best way, take a sample example based on that, and then try to filter out, try to discard the row or column from the table, and then try to see the resultant. So that way you can practice if you're beginner. Okay. Then the questions related to delete duplicate row. Okay. So how to delete the duplicate row? Delete from employee where ID not in, then select minimum ID from employee, group by name and salary. So first again we are solving this, select minimum ID from department, and then we are selecting ID not in. So that way we are giving the duplicate row. Okay. Then questions related to odd row, even row. So here we are using the modular functions or row number also. So we are finding the odd row only. Odd row means like first row, third row, fifth row, seventh row, ninth row, something like that. So select a star from, then select star row number, because row number is giving like 1 2 3 4 5 over order by ID, because we wanted only the odd ID, right? So order by ID as a row number from employee where modular. So if anything is divisible by 2, and if we are getting the resultant as a 1, like we are getting dividend as a, like we are getting what we can say. So suppose we are dividing 3 equals to 2, then we are getting the 1 as a this one. So that way, if we are modular division are a row number, if we are dividing by 2 and we are getting the 1 as a race, then we are saying is a odd number. If we are getting dividing and we are getting as a 0, then it is called even number. Like we are dividing 4 with the 2, 2 to the 4, it's like a 0. So we are getting even number. But we will use the same concept, row number. Here we are not using the dense rank or rank, we are using the row number, because row number giving the individual assignment for each particular row. Okay, order ID. Okay, this way we can solve the odd row, even row. Okay. Now coming to the next questions, find department more than 5 employee. So we have to find out the department who have the more than 5 employee. So first what I have to select, first we have to select. So how we will find the department? The department we will select based on the department ID, all right? Because department have the department ID unique key. So select department ID, then count a star from employee, group by department ID. So we have to do the grouping of department, like physics have the different department, chemistry have the different departments, computer have the different department, and based on this department ID, because each department have the department ID, and if their count is greater than 5, then we are finding that particular. Then we can solve find department with more than 5 employee or more than 10 employees, something like that, more than 10 like professor, something like that, we can solve the questions. So we are finding the department ID for department, then count star we are using for their count functions. Okay, and then again we are using the having, because that is the aggregate function, and then we are solving the questions. So take the simple example, try to discard the things, and you'll get the resultant. Okay. The next question is get top three salary per department. So initially we solved the questions who have the highest salary, but not department wise. Here we are wanted the department wise. So same thing, but we will do select a star from, select a star dense rank over partitions by department ID, order by salary. So if we are not asking the department wise, we will discard the partitions by department ID. But in this questions, it is asking we have to find the top three salary per department. So what we will do, we will see partitions by department, because we wanted the department also, order by salary decreasing as rank number from employee table, and where rank less than equals to 3. So top three we wanted, that's why it's less than or equals to. Only if you wanted third highest per department, so we will see rank equals to 3. So we can solve questions related to that like this way. Okay. So these are the top basic questions, but they mostly ask questions related to that. Okay. Now coming to the intermediate to advanced some questions. Okay. Then they wanted like transpose row to column. So what we will do, we'll use the case conditions here. So in SQL, if you are familiar with the case conditions, we can do the transpose also. Transpose of how we are doing the transpose of a matrix like row to column, column to row. Okay. So select department, some case when gender equals to m, then 1 else 0 as a male, then again, case when gender equals to female, there one else zero. So we are using the female from employee group by department. So here by this way you can transpose the row to column. Okay. Then again, find the employee with maximum salary in each department. So here it is not asking it is asking maximum salary in each department. So how we will do? Again, we will solve select a star from employee where salary equals to select maximum salary from the employee. We are finding the maximum salary from the employee and department ID equals to e to department ID, and so we are finding the maximum salary first and each department. So where department equals to e to employee ka department ID. So this way we can solve questions related to that. Okay. Now we have defined the consecutive login days per user. Again here we are using the row number and the partitions by user ID, order by logging date, and as a group key, and then from logging we are using the we are finding the login day as a user. Okay, so this way we can solve questions. Then we have the again questions related to find gap in sequence. So we can again use the order by where clause and modulo functions for that. Right? Find employee with more than average salary. So every first we are finding the average salary, then we are finding the if greater than equals to average salary, then we are finding that employee. Okay, then here again find employee had last month. So based on the select star from employee, we are hired at greater than equals to date add month minus one. Okay, last month means month minus current month and current date. So what is the current date? So from today date, if we are discard, if we are going back to 1 month, we are finding that particular employee who got hired last month. Okay, so this way we can solve. Then find employee who never submitted timesheet. Okay, so select staff from employee where not exist. What not exist? Where t dot employee ID equals to e dot employee timesheet t. So we are really using the alias of timesheet. So if timesheet is not existing in that, we are finding that particular employee. Okay. Then again, get cumulative salary by department. So again, we are using the same concept here. So no need to explain. We can see here we can practice questions, find employee earning more than their manager. So again, because there is a single table, so we'll use the alias on the employee only. So e dot employee ID is to manager ID. We can see this, we can see the solutions and we can practice questions related to that. Then we have first show first and last salary for department. So we'll use the like we are using the custom functions, first value and last value, and then we can solve the questions related to that. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for watching.